And so, yeah, if you ever, like, are dating someone and things are going really fast, he just seems too perfect to be true. He probably is. You know, that's one thing looking back now, like, okay, you know, no person is that perfect. No one wants to match you that completely and be willing just to change themselves just to match you. It's just something is kind of just not off with that. And I moved him in pretty quick too. I regret that. I didn't give any time to really get to know him. And now just looking back, there's like, I don't even know if he had a job when we first met. He told me he did, but I have no evidence of that. Because I remember when he got his first job when we were together, living together, he got accepted as his pharmacy technician. And I remember how his personality changed when he would go into work. This is one of the first red flags I think I had missed early on. I remember thinking about it like, this is weird. But now looking on it, I'm like, oh, that was one of the first red flags that I missed. He would be getting ready for work and he'd be staring at himself in the mirror and just brushing his hair and just brushing it for like a good 10 minutes. And I'm like, you know, what are you doing? He's like, oh, yeah, I'm just getting ready. I'm like, but you've been brushing your hair for like 5-10 minutes now. It looks good. It still looks the same that it did 5 minutes ago. It's like, yeah, I'm just, I don't remember what he said, but he quit. And I don't think I never remember him doing that again. At least he didn't do it with me watching, but I remember him just staring at himself in the mirror and just feeling like, okay, this is really odd. It felt really narcissistic to me, like almost like Narcissius staring at himself in the pond. I'm like, oh gosh, could I really be with another narcissist? No, I gotta be wrong about this. And just remember going back and thinking of those things, and I really wish I would have paid more attention to those feelings when I was having them, because I really missed some stuff. Thinking about like another red flag that I missed early on. We were, I think this was before we were even moved in together yet. Yeah, this might have been like the fourth or fifth date. We went to a lot of parks together. And he was leaning over, looking at this flower that I had pointed out. And we were just talking about different things about our life. And I was talking to him a little bit about his ex-wife. I don't remember like really what we were talking about. I think we were just talking about like things we could have done different, things we wanted to do different. And one thing he said to me about his ex-wife was that, yeah, now hopefully she will realize, what she lost, and she won't do that kind of thing again. And I just remember thinking, like, the way he said that just felt so condescending. And it just felt like, wow. And I had already been thinking in the back of my head that something was off about the way things split up between them, because it didn't make sense to me, because they were together for 10 years. And they were married from what he told me, I don't know if any of it is true, what he told me is they were married for a year of it. And at the end is when she cheated. And it didn't make sense to me that a woman would go through all that with him, all that, and then cheat. Unless, now, hindsight, knowing how he was, he wouldn't let me go. I think, part of the reason why she did that was to get rid of him. And, I know for me, I was really emotionally starved at the end of that. Completely starved. So I'm sure, she needed some kind of love that she wasn't getting at home. Because these people aren't capable of loving. Not in the way we know, anyways, that's for sure. Maybe themselves, but that's about it. And just thinking, like, yeah, that whole situation was so strange, and just something wasn't right about, like, those red flags that I missed. Like, okay, something wasn't right about those comments, something wasn't right about how he was acting. Oh, and another red flag I missed. But probably these were the first 3 red flags that I really ignored. That going back now, I'm like, oh my gosh. We had probably been living together about 2 months. And, you know, I had just bought my first house, moved him in, and I was so happy. And I remember him laying on my bed just crying. And he's like, I'm like, you know, why aren't you happy? He's like, I just really miss my cats. And he went on and on about his cats. He's like, I miss my family. You know, my cats, I really miss my cats. I'm like, you know, this guy doesn't really miss his cats. I think he misses his ex. But he didn't know how to tell me. So he's telling me he misses his cats. Which here I find out after the fact, he had manipulated her for months after she was trying to get rid of him, for him to come over to see the cats when he was just really spying on her. This is how this guy was. He just manipulation on top of manipulation, layer on top of layer. And, you know, it took me, you know, almost a year of breaking up with him just to really put him all together and figure out the piece of shit that I was with. I gotta laugh because if I don't laugh, I'm gonna cry. And it's shocking to me how some of these guys will do this type of stuff. They will literally pretend and fake being a whole person just to get a girlfriend to avoid their pain. Or whatever reason, whatever X number of reason these guys do these things, but they do, and they don't really love you. And they will waste years of your life. They will get close to your friends, your family. They will, like, actively, like, build dreams with you, and, like, you really think they're attached, but they're not. They're not. And his whole family kept his secrets. You know, let us get engaged knowing that he was married the whole time, and they were just not going to tell me. And that's hard to deal with too. Like, here I thought he was fooling his family, but oh, they all knew he was married. So they literally just covered for him. I always felt weird about his family too, so you guys gotta think about that stuff too. If your guy's family feels weird, it might be the family's fucked. Whole family. Yep. Alright, I think that's all I'm gonna share for now. Just want to talk a little bit about that first date, and the first date was almost too perfect. So it's too perfect to be true. It just is. It is. Bye, Phoenixes. Keep rising.